Okay. Let's see. I think we're good. It sounds like I can hear you again. I don't know. It was like doing this wonky, like underwater shit.
I don't know how else I'm gonna rip cigarettes in this garage without that fucking lighter. I swear to God.
I was like, here, I got one. Shit.
It's been hard year, and being down here is like saved by sanity. I have suffered for like months with like just crippling depression and not being able to work. Because I went from playing with 15 bands a month, 700 musicians a year, multiple states, fly dates, sometimes 2 and 3 gigs a day.
Shit.
I would normally have 5 to 7 gigs a week, if not 10. A slow week was like 4 or 5 gigs, you know? And I went from that to just being done. And I had 3 residencies in Denver when COVID hit, all at women-owned venues. 2 of those venues have closed permanently now. And one of them was an 87-year-old jazz club. It was one of the oldest jazz clubs in the world.
Wow.
They just hit Guinness Book of World Records last year.
Why couldn't we save that? Why couldn't we save them?
You know,
I wish I would have known, like GoFundMe or something, you know?
This is happening to everybody. It's cool. I don't need that lighter. It's happening. And so, you know, I would get really depressed. And then luckily I wound up down here, and it's like, the first time I walked into one of the venues here and saw like people hanging out at a concert, like, mind you, they had like masks on and stuff, but it was like not tables.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, oh my God, like this is really coming back. And I started to
it's crazy. I don't know. It's really hard. Even the drive-ins are not satisfying because, I mean, better than nothing.
I got to see Mark Rubier at a drive-in though. It was like one of the first ones in Colorado, in Fort Collins. And that was really strange because they hadn't figured out that you need to put PA, like a central PA.
Oh, no, they know. Apparently in Fort Collins, there's a 24-hour noise ordinance. So people were standing outside of the venue with like decibel monitors to like complain. And so for Beanstalk later, they couldn't even have a regular drum kit. They had to have an electronic drum kit.
Yeah, I know. Cody Wales is actually my drummer.
Why didn't I know that?
No, because I play with so many people. I play, you know, all of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's actually, you know, like normally the Jessica Jones Project drummer in Colorado. And yes, I remember them telling, because that's when they started to implement the PA system, because when we had gone to Mark Rubier, it was just on people's stereos. And I had gone with Dave Watts, and he had Sirius XM radio in his truck, so there was a delay on it, and it was bouncing everybody else's shit. So we were like, fuck this. We turned it off and we went and walked around, which was like totally against the rules. And you know, you just like act like you're walking to the bathroom and
exactly
your friend's car.
Yeah.
And, we were like desperately searching for somebody who had like a decent sound system on their car, because we couldn't hear the music that well. And I just remember being like, okay, they need a centralized PA system. And then they did that for Beanstalk. And I remember Cody complaining, or not complaining, but just being like, oh wow, last minute they had to figure out a B drum kit for him because the noise ordinance, which was also kind of strange because the rest of the band was in ears. So you would have only heard them through those speakers and then just heard this loud ass drum kit on stage.
Exactly.
Cody hits hard.
Yeah.
What up, Cody? What up, Curdy? He hit hard. So you'd hear him.
Yeah, totally. Oh, are you going to Beanstalk?
No, I saw that it sold out like immediately though. I'm really proud of them.
Yeah, it'll be, I'm gonna try it out.
One of my first pandemic bands, like when we first started like kind of coming back to jam, was with Casey Russell.
Nice.
And Dave Watts, Marcus Rezak.
Yeah, he's under our label, Loose Leaf.
That's right. And that's how I met Emily Vanderwild doing
through
group.
Marcus.
Actually, they hired me on a group safe thing, but that's how I found out about Loose Leaf. Yeah, in Ashley.
Did you know Ashley before that?
No, they hired me on, and I wound up like MDing the set with like people from Lotus and La Special, and this huge lineup. And that was actually like the last big show that we did before COVID. It was March 11th. Or March 13th. Yeah, it was March 11th.
Yeah, I had just given birth, so I couldn't go. You know, I was recovering, and I was so sad.
Good timing, girl.
I know, right?
Like at home with a baby that's like growing its immune system, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was wild time this pandemic. Like my kid's 1 now. What the fuck happened?
Girl, that's amazing though, because now that the world's starting to come out, you guys will be able to come out.
Yeah, I know. One of the only things I put on my registry for him was noise canceling headphones.
They're not bringing this fucking pinball machine. This bitch.
That's incredible. You got her. Who got it for her?
Her husband.
Nice. That's rad. That's a fun gift. Literally.
So it's hilarious. So this development, we're up in like way northwest Jacksonville. Like Ubers won't pick us up here. It's not on the map yet. So everybody who comes in here, we have to like guide them in on the phone, because it's like the map runs out on like Google Maps, Apple Maps, like everything. It just like the map runs out and people are like, where the fuck am I? So
shit, are there any plots for sale out there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right next door.
What?
Girl, right next door. Wait,
what does the land go for out there?
A lot cheaper than Colorado.
No shit. I'm about to be like, yes, vacation land.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, and I don't want to be an asshole because like Florida is really dope, but it's like way cheaper than Colorado. Shit.
Right. No, Colorado is stupid expensive.
So expensive. And I'm born in Colorado, so I'm like used to it. I lived on the East Coast for a few years, but and I remember being out there and being like, there's no way in hell I'll be able to afford property out here, you know. Now I'm looking around Colorado like shit.
It's disgusting. It's really gross. Like we own our house though, so like we're literally saving up to buy land, and I'm like, maybe Florida actually.
I mean, I'm kind of just back and forth right now. Like, so my gig schedule is going to pick back up in June in Colorado. Like my next gig in Colorado is in May. I'm playing with a Neil Diamond tribute called Forever in Blue Jeans. It's awesome. It's exactly what you think it is. Awesome. It's like the cheesiest music that I love.
Yeah.
Amazing. I'm backup vocals for this guy who like sounds just like Neil Diamond. It's really cool. And then I've got like agency gigs booked throughout the summer. I'm starting to book some Jessica Jones project gigs right now. I'm like finally starting to hear from my usual suspects. It's been a tough year though, you know. It was really hard from going from like a full schedule to just nothing, because you know a lot of my self-esteem is wrapped up in being on stage.
I get that.
Admit it.
No, I get that. I mean, if I had a talent like that, I feel like that would be my comfort zone.
Yeah, and I've added it up once like a few years ago, and I've definitely spent like a couple years of my life like on stage. Like 50 years, right? If you add up all the time. And I feel more comfortable on stage than I do talking to people. Yeah. You know. So it's been really tough because like I went from just full-time doing that was a big part of my identity, to just like sitting in my house, you know. And I, looking out for my folks and my friends and shit, which kept me really busy for the first few months, but then I needed to make music, and we started to do like live casts, like the jam casts, and like a bunch of groups like were commissioning us to do sets. And then finally, the backyard party started, the illegal backyard party.
I mean, that's why speakeasies were a thing. Prohibition doesn't work, bitches.
So that jazz club that I sang at El Chapultepec, it was 87. But it opened the day Prohibition ended. And there are tunnels underneath there that go to like Ophelia's and some of the around there.
I love Ophelia's. I love that place.
Yeah. And so the Peck was the speakeasy and Ophelia's was the brothel, and they had tunnels going between them where they'd run liquor and women. And they still have those tunnels down there. A lot of them are like cemented off and stuff so that you can't go between them anymore, but they're still there.
That is so fucking cool.
Yeah. And I mean, it's like the speakeasy is like a long running Denver tradition, they're always going to have that kind of thing.
Fucking rad. I love it. And the Beans are kind of doing shit like that, like pop-up shows and stuff like that.
But the Beans are being really, really conscious and careful about it. And I'm very proud of themselves.
Yeah. They haven't had any there's not been anything like, outbreak or whatever after. Not that I don't know who would know that, but
I mean, and that's the thing, like it's hard to track when it's like small events. I think that's why people are looking at what we're doing in Florida kind of like with bated breath, because there are a lot of people that want to see that kind of thing fail. But so far I haven't heard of any big outbreaks from any of the events that I've been a part of.
No, even the Humphreys drive-ins that I went to both like Chicago and Atlanta. And like you said, like just because you can control what's going on during the show doesn't mean that all these people aren't getting together after with their own rules,
And that's the thing, like with Swanee, like I love it. That's wonderful that they're doing the pods, but you're not restricting people in the campsites. So there's still going to be.
Well, that's why I was hesitant.
Either because I'm thanking God that they're doing that. You know what I mean? Like I'm just so grateful that somebody's got to be the canary in the coal mine.
1000%.
Somebody's got to be the reason that this like starts back up, and they see that some of these events can happen safely, and it's gonna snowball from there. And then the next thing you know, Red Rocks will be open again.
Exactly. Well, I mean, it's outdoors, and especially if you're requiring face coverings and stuff, it's just like that's so much safer than just even a standard festival at that point.
Right.
Because it is distanced too, and you're wearing face coverings. And so just the fact that they reduce the amount of people that normally would be there or whatever. I don't know if that's the case for this particular festival in April.
Yeah, it's limited capacity. Like they definitely have a way higher capacity on the property.
Sure.
But they're capped.
Suwannee, right? Like they normally for Halloween or something, it's like what, closer to 50,000?
I'm sure. Yeah. And same with Fool's Engagement. They're like severely capping it because they want, as much as people want to believe they're being reckless, they're actually doing
they're being really smart. Yeah. And everyone's got to do, like you said, between the depression and the fact that this is your livelihood that you've done for the last 13 years, like 7 like full time, then it's really hard to do. What else are you gonna, like people have a hard time finding jobs when they have so many credentials, right? Like my friend.
Well, and I was a nanny for like on and off for like 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
I thought about going back into nannying, but it would be really difficult for me to continue both my music career and that, because I can't in good conscience go into somebody's household and not tell them, hey, I've been around these musicians or I've played this show. Even if people have masks on, if I'm in a venue, I'm exposing myself every time I go to the grocery store, like ultimately. And I have friends who had all their groceries delivered for 9 months and still got sick of COVID and never left the house. And, I personally have been kind of a unwilling or unwitting guinea pig with this, I have been around people who tested positive for COVID, quarantined with them until they tested negative, never felt any more symptoms myself. I'm not a doctor. I can't tell anybody that this is going to be their experience.
Right.
But in my experience, even after being exposed multiple times, I haven't gotten sick with COVID again. I know that's lucky. I know that some people get it more than once, like there's just a whole slew of information that we don't have and we're not going to have right away. I mean, even with the vaccine, they can tell you, well, you're going to be protected, but for how long? Am I going to have to get boosters every year? Or you're going to be protected from so many strains, but not every strain. And, I still think it's better for a lot of people to get that than not, because obviously herd immunity is our goal. But at the same time, we don't have all the answers. We're not able to give everybody all the answers. You have to do, what you think is right for you. And that's the messed up thing about this pandemic, is it's really forcing a lot of people who aren't used to making those kind of decisions for themselves to really make those decisions for themselves.
Yeah, exactly. I had to do that because I was around people who tested positive. And then everyone else that I was with them got tested, and they all tested negative, but none of them thought they had it before ever, but they might have, but I for sure thought I had it before. They all had symptoms. I did not. So when they all got tested with symptoms and didn't have it, I was like, I'm not going to get tested, because that should freak me out, dude. Like, the way people were describing it or whatever, I don't know. And I'm already like, don't trust, like, not that I don't trust doctors. I think they're very smart and well-educated and all that, but like, people don't know my body the way I know my body. And usually they don't trust me when I tell them about it. So it's like,
we all know how much doctors like to listen to women.
Exactly. And so every experience I've had has been negative. So it's like, I don't want to go out of my way to get a test for something that I don't think I have, and I don't think that I should be able to be required to, you know what I mean? And I'm very protective of this family. They're my friends, right? But like, at the same time, this is my personal sovereignty and I am pro-choice with everything you do with your own body, right? But so I don't, like, I feel uncomfortable with this whole thing because I would be made to do something that I really don't feel comfortable doing, like genuinely makes my skin crawl,
Yeah, I understand that.
So I had to take 3 weeks off of work because I was like, I would rather take the next, because she was like, well, we'll treat it like you are positive. And I was like, that's fine. I don't want to go deal with doctors. Like, I really don't. Like, it makes me sick.
That's your choice.
And I was like,
while you're waiting in line for a COVID test to come,
yeah. Exactly. And it was awesome that she could understand that and not like hold it against me as an employer, like how dare you or whatever. It was like, I understand, but for the safety of my family. And I was like, I understand. That's what, you know what I mean? But otherwise,
the fact that like through some of these agencies or like from doing international gigs, or there's several situations that could arise where I'll be required to have a test or, maybe even a vaccine in order to perform. And at this point, as not stoked on any of that as I am, I'm still always gonna want to work.
Absolutely.
It's almost a necessary evil right now in this business, because I'd rather keep people protected than, not work.
Totally. And I'm not around a lot of people, Yeah. Well, and the only people I'm around really are her. And then my like small group of friends in Fort Collins, but I haven't gone to Denver.
Fort Collins?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I haven't been to shows in Denver. I know stuff is happening in Denver, but I haven't gone down there or anything. You know what I mean? So I haven't seen music since October.
Okay.
Yeah, because Amorphic, I am managing Amorphic and they're from Fort Collins too. And they had to cancel our backyard bash. Like, we were going to do a little backyard thing, but between like the city shutting down trick-or-treating and shit, or shutting everything down for Halloween or whatever, it was like, do we want to be those assholes when, the limit is, one household together and we're clearly not, or, because we all know, again, our medical history. So we know who in the group has had it for sure, like tested, you know what I mean? Like, it's just different, than being around people you don't know.
Totally.
But then we even canceled that just because it seemed like the right thing to do at the time,
I've had to cancel gigs because of that too.
Yeah.
And I'd rather do that than get people sick. And get people in a position where they're going to get their family members sick.
Yeah, exactly. And then so then they had another gig at the Aggie that was scheduled for a month later, right at Thanksgiving. Things shut down again. And so they got canceled again. So they're finally playing this Saturday. Woo!
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah,
Where?
I'm stoked. They're playing at the Aggie.
Okay.
It's the rescheduled show.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that the Aggies got music going on.
Yes.
And I remember when they redid that place, it's got a great sound system in there now.
It's awesome. I am stoked. We reserved 2 8-tops in the balcony, and there's no one else up there.
Oh, cool. So you can feel comfortable being up there.
Yeah, because that's the thing about us is like our group is always going to be quasi large because it's like full on households, you know. It's like my husband, my 2 children, and I is already like the capacity for a lot of this shit, you know.
Right.
And so I don't know, it just adds up fast or whatever. But we all only are ever at our houses, you know what I mean? Like none of us are doing anything, so it's like I don't know, it's all weird. So this will be the first one since October. So I'm stoked.
I'm really glad to hear that. That's awesome.
It is a bummer we lost Toadies, but I mean, at least we still have the Aggie.
There have been a lot of venues in Colorado that have closed permanently and around the country. It's really sad. I mean, you know, I'm curious to see what's going to really happen once things start to open up. Because, you know, places like the big theaters, the Ogden, the Fillmore, they've all stayed closed this whole time. Very curious to see what kind of shows are going to wind up there. If they're going to like open up park capacity still, or if they're just going to wait.
Right. I just had an idea. I think that we should pass legislation that would categorize music venues as churches. And it's a religious place to congregate.
Exempt.
Yeah.
Well, but the churches are still actually being capped too. Because I have friends that play church gigs.
That's true. I just feel like they'd be saved more. You know what I mean? Like they'd have more of a chance of staying alive because they have protection. They don't have protection right now. That's the whole problem. You know, like there's no union, you know, for like, I mean, maybe there is, maybe I'm ignorant, but it seems like there's not like a safety net for people in the music industry. You know what I mean? Like, that's why we have Save Our Stages and all that shit, you know, like.
Right. And I've done all this without grants. Like, I've just been going through my savings and, you know, I've had some help from unemployment early on. Because luckily I do 1099 for a lot of my work. I'm actually a legitimate singer. I had somebody be like, oh, you got unemployment? So what do you do for your day job? I'm like, I'm a singer.
My job always.
It's so hard for people to believe that you can actually make a living off of music, but some of us did.
Right.
Oh shit! Here comes this truck. Go get that bitch! Oh, she get a fucking shot. Oh, you gotta be okay. We're gonna share this with you.
Yes, please.
Truck.
I'm stoked. Oh shit!
It's like a big old.
Oh my god! They got the. Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
What I love about this bitch is that for her birthday she wants a fucking pinball machine. This is why
okay, so for people who are only listening and not watching, there is what do you call it? A truck, not a semi, I would say it's a box truck. It's a big truck, and it was preceded by a vehicle with flashing lights, and now it is backing into their driveway, and it's dropping off a pinball machine for what, April or Teresa's birthday?
Teresa's birthday. So exciting.
And so she wanted a pinball machine. Where'd she get it from?
Her husband got it for her.
But where do you get a pinball machine?
Game place here in Jacksonville, I guess. People around. This is exciting.
That's incredible.
See, nobody can find directions because we're out in the country, girl.
Seriously, send me the coordinates so I can look into buying some land out there.
You'll have to still call me to get here.
I know it's here somewhere.
These beats.
This is incredible.
I'm still on the podcast, girl. We're sharing it with everybody.
So how do you know your friends? You're at a friend's house right now?
So yeah, Teresa has been my best friend for like 15 years. We used to live together in Keystone, Colorado.
Nice.
And you gonna get your rollerblades and your wings on, girl. Where's your wings? I won't. And then she moved back down south, and then she wanted to move to Florida a few years ago, and I came down and visited her. And I tried like briefly to break into the music scene here, but I didn't really meet a lot of people. And I just finally this year like started to break into the Florida music scene. Oh, there it is. This is
Oh shit.
oh girl.
Where are they gonna leave it in the garage, or are they gonna take it inside somewhere?
I think they just made room for it in the house.
Nice. I was like, that sounds like something I would want to smoke cigarettes and do all night.
It's a Led Zeppelin machine.
Dope. Wow.
All right, we're going in the house. We're going in the house. Girl. All right. It's happening. This is really happening.
This is my favorite thing ever. I love those cat pants.
I got it. Let us stay in here. No, maybe we'll stay in here.
She got a big old bulldog.
He was cute. Her pants were rad. I like those pants. Oh my god.
It's happening. It's really happening, girl.
This is so good.
Oh my god, this is so ridiculous.
I love it so much. I'm like, let me see that Led Zeppelin. Oh, hey.
Give me a quiet podcast.
It's happening.
It's happening. I'm so excited for you. Led Zeppelin even. That was a curveball.
The office with t-shirts every night.
Shirt check.
Yes.
Shirt back.
It's my shirt check. I got a cookie machine. I make sure.
Hey, I love it. I love it. I'm so stoked on this right now. I want to see it unwrap. Like
So for Monster Mash, we made 50 bandanas with our names on it and gave them out to everybody. So the whole weekend, everybody's wearing our names around their neck.
nice. That's perfect. That's a good way to do it.
Good branding.
Yeah, no shit. That's smart. And the ones that loop on your ears aren't as handy for stuff like that. You know what I mean? Where you're like in and out of your campsite or whatever. It's nice to just pull it down and back up again. Oh, wow. Okay,
So
this
pretty.
Led Zeppelin machine is dope. The pinball machine.
It's
Wow,
really
with like planets and astronauts, and I think, am I saying that right?
it's a Led Zeppelin 3 pinball machine. It's really happening.
That's incredible.
It's pretty exciting.
I'm stoked. Wow, and their faces are on it.
Yes.
I can't believe there were 3 generations of this thing.
So exciting.
That's rad.
I'm excited for it.
I wish I was that creative. Like my brain would never have gone to, I want a pinball machine. And
I
pinball
don't think
is so
you said
much
that.
fun.
Your husband was just like, I'm gonna get this bitch a pinball machine. Because we used to have pinball machines in the house that we lived in Keystone. So he knew that she knew.
Aw, that's awesome. That made it so much cooler. I just thought it was rad that she didn't even ask for it. That's crazy.
I know, isn't that awesome? I mean, she definitely wants it.
Well, right. But that is so cool. That's so cool. Good on him. Wait, what's his name? I got Teresa and April. What is his name? I forgot.
John.
John.
Clap.
Good job, John.
Yeah, John is the shit. We love John.
That's awesome. Oh my God. You guys are so much fun. Are you guys going to have a tournament?
Yes.
It's
We're having
necessary,
a
right?
drinking tournament right now.
Hey, cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Oh, here. Hold on 1 second. I'm on it.
She's on it.
I'm on it. I'm on it. Log on it. Hold on 1 second. This is me waiting for it.
She's charming as fuck. She's
Hold
so
up.
charming.
I'm waiting for it.
Oh my God.
Girl,
you're
don't
so-
make me look bad. All right.
Can I come hang with you guys like later this year?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let me put my drink in my cup. What's going on?
It's the April show.
Hi.
It's wonderful.
That's my favorite show that you
Hi.
bring. I've been watching the
She's
show.
like pushing me out. She's like, yeah, that's my favorite show ever.
That's my sister.
So we've gotten accustomed to just drinking in the garage together because I mean, so when I first came down here, we didn't know anybody in Jacksonville and we would just hang out in the garage every night and drink together. So we're used to it now. I mean, there's the jams and stuff that we can go to, but honestly, if I'm not singing, I usually don't leave the house.
Yeah.
It's still a pandemic.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I know. I'm like, wow, I really have no life. Like I nanny 2 days a week and then I'm home. We do camp in the van and go skiing. So I guess that's
That's awesome.
exposure, but it's like so covered. Like I'm cold all the time. Gosh.
Yeah.
I'm cold all the time. So I like am always covered anyway. So it's like the place I feel most comfortable right now anyway, you know?
Sunburn today. Look at this shit. Like,
Right.
yeah. I'm sunburned as shit.
I'm so jealous. I want to be sunburned.
Oh, me though, because I was building 3 set lists. I'm doing sets for the Gesture Jam on
April 1st? Oh no, the weekend before.
so we're doing the Gesture Jam with like Mono Neon and people from Snarky or from Ghost Snow and like Chris Myers from Humphreys.
Nice.
Oh my God, bitch, you are loud as shit. Go to my room. But I have this like sunburn from
Writing set list?
you can see where my elbow was twisted and now it's like a fucking sunburn just from like my elbow being closed all day. I was writing set lists for like 3 sets.
Hey.
But I'm so happy to have the work. Like it's wonderful.
Yeah, that's so cool. So who organized it? What group organized it?
So
Was it?
Get Lost Entertainment.
Oh, it
they're
was.
the ones putting on Fool's Engagement, and then my role with them is throw me some musicians and I'll put together a killer set. So they let me have the Jessica Jones project on there, and then we're doing the Jester Jam with like Joe Marcinek, DJ Williams, Jason Han, Mono Neon, Xavier. It's going to be a killer lineup, and so I'm designing the sets for all of that. I'm like bossing the boys around.
Yeah, that's
Is my
cool.
job. Yeah. So I just spent the whole day like figuring out, because I played with most of these musicians and just figuring out what I know they would be good on and what would be easy to play with no rehearsal for a festival set. And I've just been working on that for the last few days.
Nice. Oh man, I'm stoked for you. That's going to be so much fun.
It is going to be fun.
Like people are going to be, I think people are going to be absurd. I think
it's, yeah, they're ready. And luckily Florida has been like relatively open, but I know that like, festivals of this scale is still kind of a new thing. So, they are trying to be really careful and keep the artists comfortable, because when you're bringing in national artists from around the country, there are some people being a lot more careful than others. I just, my goal with them is to make sure that everybody feels safe enough to want to come back.
Yeah, which is that's a perfect goal. you know, everyone should feel safe always, right?
Yeah. But it's neat because like we had Jason Han on my women's empowerment tour, and now he and I are both going to be artists at large on the Fools Engagement Festival. And I managed to bring in Chris Myers and some other artists, you know, Future Joy. And I'm just trying to put my friends on too, because
that's what you got to do, right? Like, that's why you build a network, so that you can help each other. So how did you know Chris?
I met him through Marcus Rizak. I did a show with him at Conscious in November.
Oh, I was gonna ask if you played at New Conscious. That's cool. Yeah, I'm debating getting a membership, but I still don't fully understand it. Like, if I get a membership, do I get to go to the shows?
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm not sure what his membership pricing is right now, but from what I understand, the membership is kind of like your speakeasy dues. Yeah. And then you pay per show. Right. That makes sense. But the membership's cheap, and it's just like a way
$10 a month. That's why I was like, hold on.
Yeah. And it's just because like it's also like an open bar. Yeah. So you pay for the show, and you know, it's like their way of getting around the liquor license situation.
Totally. It's private.
Totally legal. And
I know that's what I want to do in Fort Collins.
And they're being safe and distanced. Every show that I've done at New Conscious since COVID hit, it's all tables. They've got that 25-foot variance between the band and the crowd, and everything is like by the book. So yeah, they're being really safe about it there. I'm really proud of Kurt. He's worked really hard to put that place together, because I mean, he basically just got into that venue right before COVID hit. And then it's like, okay, what am I gonna do now?
Yeah. Do you know Leah?
Yes. Nice. She's amazing. Yeah, I was just talking to her.
Oh, nice. I interviewed her like last month or something like that, but that was really cool.
Yeah. She's not only an amazing musician, but you know, she does so much behind the scenes as well. She's incredible.
Yeah. What do you know Sarah Mount?
Yeah. I've played with her on like several projects. She's a beast, and she's also super talented outside of music too.
Yeah, she's an artist, and she does the ghost tours, and I'm just like, you're so cool. But honestly, I was worried I was gonna fangirl with you too, because like I know I have seen your name floating around, and I was like, but Joe tagged people, right? Like, because I made this post in January, I was literally looking for 2 women that I've never met before to interview. Like, that was it. I was like I need to find 2.
I saw Joe Marcinek post like all of our
40.
names. Like, Joe.
40. Cool. I mean, that's why I know Juliana, the one that I was talking about in Virginia, and like it just blew my mind. I got 80 women tagged in that comment, and I was just like, okay, here we go, and just like emailed all of them or messaged them all right that day, you know.
I would love to throw some your way too, like
yes, please.
Like she does like bluegrass country stylings, and she just like went viral on TikTok over the pandemic.
Nice.
With a song called I See Red.
Oh, cool.
And Venus Cruz, she does Jazz Odyssey.
Grandma's just brought guy came here and brought me a present.
Well, Megan's got Yingling.
Yingling, what are you, my dad?
Oh my God. Megan drinks every city she's in out of Yingling. That's like her claim to
I'm the one that wants the Yingling. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I don't remember. I don't know what I was saying. I feel like Joe hooked it up though. And yes, please send me like
I would love to just put some crazy amazing women on. Emily Cooper, she's in Future Joy.
Oh, cool.
She and Zach have been traveling around the country since the pandemic started in an RV, doing socially distanced shows because they have a stage on the back of their RV.
What?
Girl. And that's why they wound up in Florida, and I was in Denver, and I was like, y'all are in Florida right now? I was like, let me hook you up with some people. And then they wound up on this show that we're doing on the 26th. They wound up on Fool's Engagement, and they're charming as fuck. So I love it. Her, like, just, there's some bad bitches that I'd love to connect you with. Olivia James, she's in Denver. She like just sang like on Oprah's thing right before the pandemic hit with like Kim Dawson, and there's like Jocelyn Ford Keel. There's obviously Kim Dawson. I'm sure you know who she is.
I've heard her name, but I don't know. What is she in Denver?
Kim Dawson plays in like Matador, and like Pimps of Joy Time,
Oh,
and
okay.
does like a lot of stuff
I've
with like
seen
Eddie
that.
Roberts, and I'm trying to think of who else. There's just so many incredible women like out of Colorado that.
Yeah.
And then my friend like Kate, like she's from Jacksonville, she started to sing in Denver. She was doing some big things in Denver. And now she's here. So I've been like bringing her around to the jams. I'm like reintroducing her to her own music scene here. Jessica Holloway, she's got a group called Jubilingo and Suspicious Stew. She's an incredible gospel singer, plays keys. She's just an overall badass, like, oh man. So that was the cool thing that they let me do for the Groove Safe All Stars. Was I was like, well, I'm going to MD this set, but I'm going to also, without asking your permission, bring in a dozen of Colorado's best vocalists that you guys have never heard of and bring them out onto this set. And it was so cool to just like introduce these women into this like jam band scene, because I was playing like other like R&B, jazz, funk bands together, and like there's so many scenes in Colorado, not everybody knows each other.
Yeah.
So that's like my favorite thing, is to just put people on and show off my friends.
Yes, that is so cool. That is so cool. I'm into it. I want to talk to everyone. So yeah, I'm gonna go back and write all these down, replay all the names, make sure I don't.
Yeah, I'll hook you up with everybody I can think of. I love that.
Because it's huge, like you said, like talking, having the conversations, and just meeting people. You know, that's a huge part of like what our lives were pre-2020. It was just meeting people, you know. So
exactly.
I think that's what the show has morphed into now. Like it started as that like ultra serious because of like all the bass nectar and everything. Like it was just so much more serious, whereas now it feels like I'm just meeting people because I don't have festivals to go to.
Right.
You know, like normally you're out and about, you get to chat with anyone. That's why this has been so cool. It's been like a party. I'm not even there. It's awesome. Are you winning? Did you break it?
Jessica.
That seems so rad.
Let's do it.
Well, I'll let you guys get to your pinball party. I don't want to eat up your whole night. Yes, this is incredible.
Yes, Mabel. Yeah.
Oh, hi, buddy. Yeah, but it was so good talking to you. I want you to go have fun with your people.
Get to talk to you. I'm so sorry that, you know what? I feel like this is like a very Florida podcast right now. Yeah. Ratchet as shit in the garage, playing some pinball. Wearing a mask.
I've loved every second of it. I don't give a fuck.
I really appreciate it.
No, this was so much fun. I'm stoked. And I'm stoked to know someone else in Denver. Cause like I have a bunch of Denver people, but I live in FOCO. So it's like, you know, this.
I actually sing with some bands out of FOCO, like Whitewater Ramble.
Nice.
You know, once things get started back up, I'll be back up there.
Yeah. Yeah. And you always have a place to stay. We have an extra room. So.
Oh, girl, thank you. And vice versa. I've got guest beds in Denver. I live in Lakewood, like near Red Rocks.
Perfect. Yes, it sounds great. And I hope you and Megan have a great time, and Teresa and April and John.
Thank you. Yeah.
I got them all. And seriously, I'm coming to Florida sometime in 2021. Whenever, I don't know when. But if you're not there, then you got to go with me.
Yeah. So, girl, we'll be here. I'll got booked down here until at least October. So I'll be back.
Really? Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, cool. We'll have so much fun. I wish I was going to the Fool's engagement. I wish I was going to Jessica's Jester. Like I would be there in a heartbeat if I wasn't nannying. Sadly, I must wait till summer.
We are gonna hang out.
Yes. Oh, it was so good to meet you. Thank you so much for hanging out. Yeah.
Thank you for
good night.
me, girl. Have a
course. Anytime, literally anytime. Wait.
I'll talk to you soon.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye.